and I can reach out to you with my own two hands, with my own two hands.
As much as we may look back on this time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Kevin Storm Show. Before we start, I'd like to apologize for my voice. I've been kind of sick all weekend, but we're live at Berenzweig Birds Sanctuary in Florence, South Carolina, with Stephen Brigham Jr. He's an advocate for New Jersey's homeless and animal rights. Our sponsor, Bob Heisler, asks you to look at no-to-dogmeat.com. So, hi, Steve. How are you enjoying your visit with Michael and Marilyn?
I'm enjoying it very well. Hello, everybody. I really needed this nice vacation in the South.
How have they helped you with becoming vegan?
Well, I think I was trying to get through it with Michael a second ago, but I think I was pescatarian when I met him, and then through his discussions, I went full vegetarian, as I had done in the past. It was his talking that convinced me to do it. And then through my own journeys and through Michael's incessant harping on the matter, I determined that it was the best for myself and everyone around me and all the animals around me that I went full vegan and cut all animal products out of my life. So it would have never happened if it wasn't for Michael.
How long have you been vegan?
I've been vegan now for about 7 months, I think.
Are any of your family members vegan?
My father's a vegetarian. I haven't really pushed the matter of veganism with him because he's got a short supply of food as it is, and he's not in the best environment. But maybe Michael would like to talk to him about ways he can do it. But no family members that are full vegan.
So what type of educational background do you have?
Educational background? Well, I got some community college. I got a degree in computer science, and that's about it. Trying to get back right now for social work, actually. I would like my dream, my complete dream, is I'd like to have community gardens in urban areas to solve the food desert issues. And in that community gardens, I have a vision of employing otherwise unemployable people who are in poverty areas in city settings, so they could both produce good food for themselves, start healing the process with good and healthy vegan food, and make the funds they need to get back on their feet.
So, what type of vegan foods do you enjoy eating?
Well, my favorite, my staple is tempeh. I like it because I'm not a great chef. I like cooking for myself anyway, and you can't really go wrong with cooking tempeh. You put it in a pan, and no matter what you throw in, it is a masterpiece of cuisine. Yeah.
And you do barbecue, right?
Yep.
Well, we also have Marilyn, and she's in the kitchen right now. Do you want to come and say hello?
We had a great dinner last night.
Oh, yeah. Can you tell us what we had for dinner yesterday?
Well, we had the Tofurkey Feast, which I sort of embellished with a lot of root vegetables, and then that's one thing about tofurkey, you don't get enough stuffing, so I make extra stuffing, and we really liked it. We would love our Tofurkey Feast.
What was your stuffing?
A little bit of quinoa, millet. I made homemade bread with walnuts in it, and that I put in, and celery, and collard greens, and garlic, and parsley, and a few dried cranberries.
What was the, Michael said, oh, you made soup for me. There was, what was the root vegetable in that? He said that was not part of the chicken.
Was it burdock? Oh, ginger. Yeah. It is a root vegetable. It's called Japanese sweet potato.
Okay.
And Jinjo, I think.
Okay.
Jinjo.
Okay. It was very
good. They call it the Japanese mountain potato, but it's actually the sweet potato family.
It was really good.
They're delicious.
I took a picture of it and put it on my Facebook page.
Yeah. And carrots and squash, and
Acorn squash, right?
Yeah, acorn squash. And what other? There's one more. I keep forgetting one guy that was in there. But anyhow, it was excellent.
Yeah.
And tofurkey is really a good addition to the vegan family of celebratory meals. You know, it always makes a special occasion out of a dinner.
They got a lot of different products out now. That
Yeah,
don't
they?
At the Animal Rights Conference, Seth Tibbett and some other people came up and had samples of tofurkey. There was Hot Pockets and quiches and a lot of different kinds of sausages. Some were spicy, some not. And what else? There was something else. Pepperoni pizza pocket. Was that the one that you liked?
Yeah, the Hot Pockets. They also had, like, chicken and broccoli with, like, cheese. And that was really good.
Veggie chicken. Yeah, you gotta say that.
And should I just say chick''N?
Yeah, well, I don't care about that. But we buy the tofurkey deli slices for his sandwiches for lunch, for Kevin's lunch.
We're gonna have tofurkey kielbasi for lunch with a pasta dish.
Oh,
That sounds good.
yeah, I'm up for food. That's a good.
Well, we just recently moved down here in the south, and a lot of our old standbys are not as easily available as they were in New York and New Jersey. But one thing they do have is lots of tofurkey products. They're really well stocked. Even the average grocery store has a few. When Susan and I went shopping yesterday at the Food Lion, they had some tofurkey products.
And instead of just focusing on the chick''N, there's a whole lot of chickens here, all different kinds of breeds, and
That's with an EN.
yeah, we brought a whole bunch of them down here, and we just brought a new hen with 3 chicks, thanks to Steven and his dad and you, my dear Kevin. We wouldn't have gotten the little chicks without these guys, but you know, and the mama had adopted the one little black chicken that was really sweet. So, but they're doing just fine. So, and there's lots of fresh air down here. So, but how many chickens are left up in the thing?
It's hard to make a real good estimate. I'd say anywhere from 60. Would you say that's a good number?
I don't know. And I'm a bad estimator anyway. I think when we left there were about 100 left. There were quite a few I had wanted to catch and take with us, but remember they started bulldozing the day before we were packing up, and a lot of the chickens that were peripheral to our area that were friendly weren't friendly. They were scared, so I couldn't. There were quite a few I still regret, you know, that I had a relationship with, but they were disappeared, you know, on the chicken catching day.
Facebook page for that?
Well, you can visit 10th City Chicken Run on Facebook, and that's managed by my mother and me, and also Berenzweig Birds Sanctuary. I think, just in my opinion, there's probably more chickens there than people now.
Oh, absolutely. They're everywhere. But, you know, on our way down here, which was a really long ride, was made shorter by music and stories and things like that. And I think it'd be really cool if Steven could tell us his boat story.
Sure. Sure. Well, last year I had a loss of a friend that hit me very deeply. So I was getting hit by negative influences where I was starting to get real down, and I decided the best thing to do, because I'd read a book about healing through farming, and I determined the best thing for me would be find an organic farm through a program called WOOF, Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms, which is a fantastic program. And I found a farm that was out in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and so I went out there. They were very welcoming, invited me in. And for a little over 2 months, I cared for 100 goats, about 40 chickens, a couple turkeys, and a lot of the time I was left there on the farm myself for weeks at a time to bond with these goats. And that that part of my journey was what really pushed me into being a full vegan, because I love the goats, and the farmers treated them fantastic. And this was the ideal family farm where the animals were loved, and it was great. But there were things that I could see, like when the baby was taken away from the mother so they could harvest the mother's milk, the cries from the baby and the mother who were separated after only a few days was really heart-wrenching. And so even the most ethical family farm who loves their animals and treats them like members of the family, in order to get the products from the animals, they need to do the occasional unethical thing. There is no way that you can get eggs and milk without making unethical decisions about animals that you can love. And so after really bonding with these creatures that are almost human, if not better than humans, I could no longer engage in even buying free-range eggs or family farm ethical, quote-unquote, ethical milk. So I had to cut it out of my life.
Michael is now in the room. Thank you for joining us. Do you want to say hi to the audience?
Thank you, Kevin. Hello, audience.
Nice to see you again. Have you on the show again.
Good to see you and good to be here and all that. And reflecting upon just what Stephen just said, very profound thing. I just kind of want to emphasize, Stephen said they occasionally have to do the unethical thing. I don't want to push it, but it's totally abominable. Because, the great Cesar Chavez, tireless worker for the farmers in California. Bob Linden had him on his show. Cesar Chavez was vegan also. And he said to somebody, you would do better, just to stress the point, by giving up dairy than giving up hamburger. Just to stress the point, of course, giving up meat is paramount important, but he said the dairy cows suffer so horribly that, if somebody fools themselves into thinking that they're having eggs and cheese and that it's okay, it's not as, bad in that as, bringing this suffering and all that. It's not true at all. What Stephen was saying, experiencing the cries of the mother and child when the child is taken away. And what an act to forcibly impregnate somebody to take away their child so you can have milk from another species. And you're not even an infant. So it's nonsensical. It's totally nonsensical. It's anti-ecological. It's bad for your health. It's bad for the economy. It's bad for the ecology. Please, so just to emphasize what Stephen said, it's a really horrendous act. It's beyond scope. I mean, what kind of beings are we to steal from defenseless, innocent beings who are loving?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, to take innocent beings who are gentle and loving, and to imprison them and to use them and to trick them and, human beings? Is that what we are?
Stephen, can you tell us what's special about goat eyes?
Oh, thanks for putting that on. Well, in the middle of the night, when it's pitch black and there's no moon or no stars, if you walk through a herd of goats, and you look into their eyes, they start to glow an eerie, I don't want to say demonic because there's nothing demonic about a goat, but an otherworldly green, and they will glow and pierce right through you. So it was one time I was alone on the farm. The farmers had gone away, and there was no one else for miles around, and I had heard a sound out in the turkey house, and I thought, maybe a fox had gotten in or something. I better go make sure they're okay. I'm walking through the herd of adult goats with about 30 on both sides, and I had no idea about this special power that goats have, but I had about 60 eyes on both sides of me glowing green and seeing right through me. And so that was a new experience for me, and it's certainly unsettling, but when you see a goat's eyes in the daytime, you can see all the love and affection they have. So there's certainly nothing demonic about it. They're certainly loving, but yeah, they'll pierce you. That's a sight that stays with you.
You used the word hoarding, and like that just maybe a slip of the tongue, but that's something that I've always said. Like herding is hoarding, basically, because it's a collection of beings that, you know, people are called animal hoarders if they have a dozen cats, you know. So essentially, it's the same thing. I mean, any large collection of anything or anyone is hoarding because you're doing it for greed. You know, anything with the intent of exploiting, or the sense of ownership of like, this is mine, it's all mine. You know, you can't have it unless you pay the price, right? So like that whole mentality of the more I have, the bigger I am. You know, and like that's just, I mean, if they do it on their own, that's fine. They can all stick together. We call that a clique. You know, that's kind of cute, but it's not cute when you're talking about 20, 50, 100. And somebody's making money off of them. And that means that if they get sick, bless you, if they get sick, something has to be done. So they're either killing them or pumping them full of antibiotics. And, you know, that whole concept makes me go elsewhere other than what we're here for. So you discussed how implemental they were in being vegan. Michael, we know how you became vegan, but how do you feel about your relationship with Stephen and that decision about him becoming vegan, and you know, as far as your influence?
Well, of course, it's a wonderful thing. You know, it's a wonderful thing if you can express yourself and communicate, and it reaches somebody. You know, it's a drop, you know, in the ocean that spreads out and could be infinite, which everybody's aiming for. That we all, you know, wake up or go to sleep or whatever, you know, stop doing what we're doing and start doing something a lot better, which is becoming vegan and becoming aware and all that. And yeah, so it's great. And I don't know if Stephen mentioned, but his better half, as they say, his girlfriend Elena became vegan with him as well. And that's a great thing, and they're very sensitive and very aware and very, you know, active, you know, in communicating the message. So, yeah, it's wonderful. Let's just hope it continues, you know, that Stephen is able to take it places as well, you know.
How has being vegan affected your activism with society?
My activism? Well, I recently got involved with a group, Food Not Bombs, which makes a effort to provide good, healthy, or mostly organic vegan foods to a population of various impoverished and homeless people around New Jersey. Food Not Bombs, I'm not sure if they are a nationwide program. I'm not sure if their national goal is to provide vegan food. I know it is focused on organic, but our branch, Food Not Bombs Jersey Shore chapter, provides at this point exclusively vegan food, mostly organic, and it goes around to various train stations where there's gathering of homeless individuals, to tent cities where there's collections of homeless individuals, and other areas where people can't normally afford or get access to good organic vegan foods.
So, Michael, how many chickens do you think are here at the bird sanctuary?
Can I just throw in Jackie Maldonado? It would be nice to mention her name, you know, the woman who works at Nature's Corner, you know, for her efforts and, you know, really sticking to it and following through and coming to Tent City and motivating other people to come. So she should get the credit. Just wanted to mention that. There's probably now, with the nice new additions that you've brought, approaching 40, would you say? Yeah, over 40. I'm sorry, you were saying how many are there?
What do you think?
Yeah, about 40, but we have other orphan birds too, and we have 3 pigs, and a squirrel, yes, and we have, of course, Percy Shelley's Being in the Universe, the wonderful starling, and we have 3 orphan cats here, so we're trying, the door's open.
So total, would you say there's maybe about 50 animals?
Yeah. Over 50. Yeah.
Well, there's a whole lot more at Tent City, so if anybody wants to help catch chickens, you could find Tent City Chicken Run on Facebook. And actually, I was going to ask about, how's the battery on the phone? Yeah, it's kind of interruptive, but I think you've got 7 minutes. So one more question, and then we could ask Michael to play a song for us. Anything? Stephen, can I ask you a question about protesting and things like that? Like, what have you been involved with since you've been vegan?
Okay. Well, I love to protest. I think it's one of the greatest forms to get the messages out there. So I've gone to various protests. I've protested against puppy mills. That was one of the things that I'm passionate about. One protest that comes to mind, I was invited by Kevin and his ma to protest against, what's the name of the veal company? It's
Catelli Brothers.
The Catelli Brothers Veal and Veal and Lamb Company, which is pretty horrendous. It's right on the street where everyone can see it, and it's horrendous how they focus on just the most innocent and defenseless animals. And it's not any butchery is evil enough, but to focus on like the 2 most defenseless animals I can imagine, baby cows and little lambs, and just advertise it right on the main street. And so we went out there, good turnout. We picketed, we held signs, and I think New Jersey Farm Animals Save. And I think I read in the paper that our efforts have already made some impact where they were forced to have some oversights, which I think is really great. And so I don't know if you want to plug the next one coming up. I forget. Yeah, when is the date for that? Do you remember? Well, check it out. New Jersey Farm Animal Save, and they have another date coming up for a protest with the Catelli Brothers, and anyone who can come out.
At the end of the protest, there was cupcakes, right?
Yeah, there's delicious vegan cupcakes for everyone to share. Does Michael want to?
Yeah.
Here we go.
I want a cupcake. Yeah. Papa Ganache won the cupcake award on the kids show for the best cupcake, a vegan cupcake. So everybody try Papa Ganache's vegan cupcakes. This is a regular kids show, a conventional show, and they won the best cupcake. Anyway, what Stephen was saying about the just atrocious actions against calves and kids and lambs, and it's amazing the way we brainwash ourselves. Lamb chops becomes such an innocuous, innocent term. There was even a kid show, Shari Lewis, who had puppets, and one of the hand puppets was lamb chops, and it's like, lamb chops, let's whitewash it and let's soft soak it. You know what I mean? Don't tell about the real bloody, gory, horrible treatment and the putrefying flesh that you're eating and creating disease and bacteria and on and on and on. That reality doesn't want to be faced. But Stephen prompted me to say what I just said. And in a way, to talk about the music almost would be more important than doing it. It's funny, I was thinking about doing Over the Rainbow. And I was thinking about how H.G. Wells wrote a story called Utopia. Now, people might know what utopia means. Utopia literally means a place that doesn't exist. But people think of utopia as a perfect place. Everybody knows the term utopia. H.G. Wells wrote a story called Utopia. And in the story it says the last slaughterhouse was closed many years ago. So H.G. Wells envisioned Utopia as a vegetarian, vegan place where there were no more slaughterhouses. You heard what I said, right, Susan? Yeah, Utopia. H.G. Wells said the last slaughterhouse was closed years ago. So I was thinking of doing Over the Rainbow and saying somewhere over the rainbow, people don't eat meat and there are no more slaughterhouses. It's almost better saying it than playing it. As a matter of fact. The other song I wanted to do was Love Hurts. We were talking about there's an excellent book called The Face on Your Plate. And Jeffrey Mason in that book talks about how abusive we are to animals in capos, concentrated animal feed operations, and in the animal food industry, and yet they love us, So, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. We're killing the power on the phone, and we're almost out of time.
We do have to end the show.
Yeah,
we're going to have to play a song, so if you guys want to go ahead and do that.
Maybe we can do a little
thank
Over
you
the Rainbow.
Very much for doing that. Do you want to join in? Oh, that would be so cool. We've got 2 minutes, so whatever they can hear of it, you got it.
Follow along.
Okay.
It's like
Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we hope you join us next week.
Change the world with our own two hands. Make it a better place with my own two hands. Make it a kinder place with my own two hands. With my own two hands. And I can make peace on earth with my own two hands. And I can clean up the earth with my own two hands. And I can reach out to you with my own two hands. With my own two hands.
As much as we may look back on this time